Hello, I'm Samantha Anderson, Director of Communications for Newton Public Schools, and I'm here to give you a brief recap of last night's Board of Education meeting. Before we get started, I would like to point out that we do have another special Board of Education meeting on April 6th, so mark that in your calendars. We'll be live streaming it like we did this one to help meet the CDC guidelines. So Dr. Ham gave a quick presentation about COVID-19 and the district's response to it. I'll just go over that real quick. The slides are in the description box for this post because I'm going to be skimming over it. So if you want to look at all the details, feel free to go through those. And again, you can also see the full live stream on our Facebook page or our YouTube. It's in two different chunks, the part before the executive session and then the part after. All right, we'll just get started. She covered Governor Kelleys' executive order, and that happened on Tuesday, March 17th, and she issued an order that closed all schools through the end of May, and schools were directed to deeply cleaned buildings. This started before the executive order here in Newton. Once cleaned, schools would be allowed to continue education with small groups of students. So that would mean we'd have to have a 9-to-1 ratio maximum. We'd have to have stable groups that were the same students and the same teacher that stay together throughout the day. No group lunches. They'd have to have different arrival and dismissal times, and they'd have to ride on buses with the same 9-to-1 ratio. And that's 9 students to 1 adult, teacher, bus driver, so on and so forth. We have started the incident command system, and that's the district's way of responding to unplanned events. Dr. Ham did start the ICS team to deal with the situation. We've had daily conference calls with KSDE, daily conference calls with the ICS team, daily conference calls with the administrative team, and communication with the health department and emergency management. We have a number of objectives. The first is to reduce the exposure to and spread of COVID-19, to meet the educational needs of students, to collaborate with the community on resources, and to provide food, breakfast and lunch, and daycare. We also have a number of areas of emphasis. The first is to develop a plan to provide food to students beginning March 23rd, which we did, to develop a plan to provide childcare for students and families, provide quick and accurate communication to staff, students, and families, support our staff working within the buildings, develop a plan to get technology to students and staff, and assist them in using the technology throughout the continuing learning period plan. Develop a plan to address the learning of students, including professional development for staff. Develop a plan to allow students and staff to obtain their personal items in buildings and continue to sanitize buildings. We also need to develop a plan to support the social and emotional needs of our students and staff. All right, she's listed the assignments for the ICS team. I'll let you all go through that. Just so you know, Dr. Ham is the incident commander for the school district. And again, she's listed the people who are assigned to all the different emphasis areas. I'll let you go through that yourself as well in case you're interested. It's in the link. Okay, continuing education. We are currently reviewing continuous learning task force guidance. So that means virtual meetings, teachers meeting virtually, and figuring out professional learning to help meet the learning needs of teachers. Facilities. We've cleaned and sanitized buildings. We've planned for staff to enter buildings early this week to retrieve personal items and teaching materials. We are developing a plan for students to be allowed to enter buildings for personal items, and learning materials, but we have to follow the 10 people per room, 6 feet of separation guidelines. So it's taking a little while to make sure we do that as safely as we can. Hand sanitizers in each room are filled, and that we've set all buildings to empty for energy efficiency. Okay, food service. We've secured employees to prepare and distribute meals and communicated with parents and answered questions. We've served approximately 770 grab-and-go breakfasts and lunches on Monday, and that's approximately 1,540 meals. And we're also investigating assisting parents who are not able to come and pick up their meals. That just takes some time. We're trying to figure out what resources we have available for that. And she's listed the actual meal distribution. Feel free to look at that if you're interested. Health. The health team's meeting daily. Medications will begin to be returned to students today, March 24th. And again, they've been communicating updates regarding CDC, the KDHE, and the ICS team. Latchkey, we're continuing the discussion of reopening Latchkey for the community. Currently, daycare is seen as an essential service, and all conditions would need to be met. So again, that's 10 people in a room. It must be that stable group of the same students plus teachers throughout the day. No congregating in hallways, no communal lunch, staggering arrival and dismissal times, and just keeping that stable group. We have submitted a waiver to KSDE to waive for the hours that we aren't in session. Again, we'll have to update you on that. All right, so that is a brief overview of last night's Board of Education meeting. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and we'll keep updating you as things progress. Thank you.